Welcome to the garden. It is the end of May. June is starting soon and it is strawberry season. Come with me to the garden and let's chat. I want to talk to you today a little bit about the garden and the benefits that it's bringing to our family. I also want to talk to you a little bit about being a mom and how I've learned to enjoy that journey even when they were young and it was hard. One of my favorite things in the spring is strawberry harvest, and it's so convenient. Strawberry harvest is right now. Strawberries are coming off like crazy. These are ever-bearing strawberries. I also have a bed of June-bearing strawberries, which are just starting to ripen. But the best thing about strawberry season is it's early in the spring. It's one of the first harvests. They're delicious. Everyone loves them. The kids come out here and eat. Like, I don't have to buy snacks. They come out to the garden, they eat. They pick strawberries. They love them. My grandbaby was over here yesterday. I gave her a little basket. I said, don't eat them until you bring them in and wash them, and then you can eat them. And she was out here for like an hour, and she brought in a basket with like 3 strawberries in it. So I know she was out here eating them. But birds do get in here. They love strawberries and they can poop on them. So it is important to wash them first. But I just love how the kids can come out here and snack all day long. They just love picking strawberries, and it's just one of the best treats ever. Some years we get just an overload of strawberries. So I actually have 1-gallon bag left of frozen strawberries. We use those in the wintertime. We make smoothies, we make ice cream. You can make strawberry cobbler with them, which I will show you today. There's just so many ways to use strawberries when they're frozen. I also like to make freezer jam. Freezer jam is one of our favorite ways to preserve strawberries, and it's delicious in fresh strawberry pie. Instead of buying that gel glaze, which is full of chemicals and totally fake food, you can make a freezer jam, or just all you do is blend up your strawberries, thicken it, add a tiny bit of sugar. It's freezer jam. Basically, that's freezer jam. And so I can use that in a fresh strawberry pie. It's delicious. Of course, it's great on toast, pancakes, waffles, sourdough bread, rolls, anything your hearts can imagine. It's even good on cottage cheese and ice cream. So strawberries are definitely one of our favorites. The only problem is if you don't pick them every day, you're gonna get little holes in them like this one has from either birds or we also have the roly-poly bugs in here, the pill bugs, or I think that's what we always called them. Anyways, they love strawberries. So watch out for those and the birds. You can always put bird nets over your strawberries. We've never done that. If we pick them every day, then it's not that big of a problem. But if you don't, the birds will devour them. I think one of the best things that you can do as a parent for your kids is to plant a garden, because kids love to work in the garden, and when they're learning to love to work in the garden, they love to harvest in the garden. And once they get a taste for harvesting, then they get excited about planting. And once they get excited about planting, they start getting excited about making the garden nice and working in the garden. And so it teaches your kids to work. It also teaches them the principles of the sowing and harvesting. And it's just definitely a lifelong lessons that they learn in the garden that you can't really teach them as well any other way. You definitely can't teach them that as enjoyable as you can in the garden. It just, nothing compares. It seems so funny to me. We have a huge trampoline, we have a huge soccer net, we have a huge backyard and a big play set for kids. But you know what's so funny to me is whenever little kids come over to my house, they want to come outside, but guess where they want to go? They want to go in the garden. And I love it. I let my kids build forts behind the raspberry plants. I let them have beds that are their own, plant what they want to plant. That can be their plant, although we all enjoy it and we all eat it. It is just one of those mysteries, one of those things you just wouldn't believe. It's pretty ironic. The kids' most favorite thing in our backyard is the garden and the chicken coop. They love the chickens. We had a nephew here. We let him come stay the night because he loves fishing. And so my husband took him and the boys out fishing. But he was so excited to come out to the farm. And you know what? He got up at 6 o'clock in the morning before anyone else was up. he got up early and he came out because he had to check the eggs. He just wanted to go in that chicken coop and collect eggs. Kids love having jobs and responsibilities and things that they're in charge of. My 5-year-old son, he loves getting the chicken eggs. They all love getting the chicken eggs. And it's just one of those chores that we have as part of our garden. You don't have to have a garden and chickens, but they go really well together because chickens love to eat all the extra produce, those little strawberries that have bites on them. I love where we live. We have some of the best neighbors in the world. One of our neighbors, she is so sweet. She lets us use her horse corral, or it used to be her cattle corral, for our horse. And the other day, she's older. Her son was there. He was working on a project and she was getting tired running back and forth to grab him what he needed or helping him work on this project. Bye, sweetie. Love you. Be careful. Anyways, so she called and asked if my daughter could come help. And of course, my daughter ran over there and was very happy to help. And so she came back, my daughter came back, didn't say anything about it. And then the next day at church, I saw my neighbor and she said, your daughter is such a hard worker. Your kids work so hard. And she's always complimenting how hard my kids work. And honestly, I never thought anything of it. I just thought it was normal. But our kids don't play video games. Our kids do work. And my kids enjoy working because they've learned how to enjoy the principle of sowing and harvesting. So the principle of putting in effort to something and then enjoying the fruit of it or the results of it. I remember my mom teaching this to me. I did not grow up on a farm. I grew up in Southern California where we had a small lot that our house was on, and my parents had 8 kids. So we were jammed into this 3-bedroom, 2-bath house on a small lot. And we didn't have a ton of money. And down there in the Mojave Desert of Southern California. So when I say I'm from Southern California, don't think San Diego beaches and beautiful. This is Mojave Desert, hot, dry Mojave Desert. We didn't have grass. We had rock yards. All of the yards were rock, and they didn't put weed barrier underneath that rock. So whenever it rained, weeds would come up, grass would come up through the rocks. So my mom would go out there and just, it was relaxing for her to just go out there, pick a spot, weed. And so of a young teenager, I'd go out there with my mom and she'd teach me, okay, just pick a small section. Now work on this section and just get it all weeded. Now look, once we were done, she'd say, now look, doesn't that look beautiful? Look at our yard, doesn't it look great? And she taught me to start with a small section instead of being overwhelmed by the whole yard. And then she taught me, after we were done, to look at it and just see how beautiful it is and enjoy it. So that is something I've been able to teach my kids, but more with planting and sowing with the garden instead of just with yard work. She also taught me to relax and enjoy the moment and the quiet moments outside. They're quietly picking, when you're quietly weeding. It's almost like meditation. You listen to the sounds of the birds, the crickets, nature around you. You feel the sunshine on your skin. Everything is quiet and still, and you're just picking. Whether you're picking strawberries or picking weeds, you're just picking. You're just part of this world. You're having a real experience. Your hands are getting dirty. You're grounded because you're touching the ground or on the ground. And it is a beautiful, relaxing time. And I hope that you can experience that too. I know I was blessed with an awesome husband. My husband, he is so supportive and he works so hard. He's got a mechanical mind. He knows how to build and fix things. He can figure anything out, but he also loves being a dad. One of his favorite things to do, and I'm so grateful for, is to take his kids fishing. And my kids love fishing and they know how to fish. Man, I've had my little kids, I remember my oldest son, I think he was like 3 years old when he was reeling in huge fish, and he could outfish anyone in a stream with wild trout, and they'd be jumping out of the river, and he could hook them, set them, reel them in with his little tiny Disney fishing pole that they sell at Walmart, those little $10 poles. Actually, they work great, if you're wondering. And so I am so grateful that we live in a place where we can go fishing. It's cheap to get a fishing license, and little kids are free. So an adult has to have a fishing license, little kids are free. And my kids have learned those skills. Not only those skills, but they're fun. It is fun. If you have not gone fishing and reeled in a fish that is jumping and fighting you, it is a life experience you have to experience. The same as riding a horse. If you have not ridden a horse and felt that power and that connection, horses are so sweet and they love people and they want to please you and they want to be your friend, and at least a good horse. I'm so grateful that we got a good horse. And if you haven't had that experience, if you haven't been able to ride a horse or reel in a fish, that is something I highly recommend you do. Put it on your bucket list. Find an opportunity to do it and do it. Enjoy it. There's nothing like it. So if your kids have no one to play with, plant a garden, get some chickens, get some pets. They'll be able to get some of that connection and enjoy it, and it will take some of the pressure off of you. Okay, heading in the house now. I'm getting these strawberries washed up. I have this recipe on the blog at farmhouseharvest.net. It is a cobbler recipe, and you can use any fruit with it. I have done it on the blog with blackberries and raspberries, but I have not done it with strawberries yet. However, that is definitely coming your way, and I will link that in the recipe description below. But this cobbler is so easy, and it's definitely a recipe that you can have the kids help you with. So I'm doubling the batch. Usually I would make this in an 8x8 pan, but I am going to make this in a 9x13 because we've got family over. But it is just, so the regular recipe is 6 cups of fresh fruit, and then 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, a cup of milk, and a half a cup or 1 stick of butter melted. And that's it. You just stir that together. I've also done it with einkorn flour instead of all-purpose flour to make it a little bit healthier. And I did definitely think this could be a healthy breakfast. If you do it with einkorn flour, maybe cut the sugar back a little bit, but you don't have to. I mean, seriously, how much sugar is in a bowl of cereal? A lot. So a little bit of fresh fruit cobbler with some scrambled eggs would be a great breakfast too. But this strawberry cobbler just turns out delicious. The breading mixes in with the fruit and it thickens it and sweetens it, and it is perfect with a scoop or 2 of vanilla ice cream. So I will link this recipe below. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you have not subscribed yet, please do, and we'll see you next time.